Good morning. Welcome to week 3 of the Pantry Challenge here on our homestead. This morning we started out day 12 and made some muffins. Didn't quite turn out like they did the last time. But it's those same zucchini muffins. We're not sure what happened, but the kids ate them, so they weren't too terrible. They were just really crumbly. Okay, tasted them. Figured out why. Accidentally used coconut flour instead of all-purpose flour. Don't do that, it doesn't work. But anyway, kids ate them, so there's that. And then we also had that second part of the yogurt that I had made for breakfast this morning as well. So pretty simple breakfast. For lunch, I'm very excited because we're just doing leftover manicotti. So there's very little thinking, just gotta reheat it. All right, guys, it is supper time here, and I'm getting ready to utilize up some things out of the freezer. I had a little bag of rice that I'm gonna pull out, and when I was going through that, you okay? I don't feel good. Yeah, just don't feel good. In our area right now, the flu is horrible. Like multiple people I know have been in the hospital, and so like we've been blessed to avoid it, and I'm hoping that he didn't catch something nasty. So yeah, we were hoping. But we're gonna use some elderberry syrup. I might even make a batch of elderberry gummies. Try to keep us all healthy as best as possible, huh? Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna put this on pause till Daddy comes so that Daddy can snuggle the baby. And then I'll be back with you guys. Okay, so what I was saying is I found some shredded lunch meat, and so I'm gonna turn this and some leftover olives into like a Greek gyro meal. And so I made the other day, you saw me make these homemade pita things, so we're gonna get started on that. Okay, so I am going to use this rice as an opportunity to add a little bit of variety into my flavor. So the recipe calls for lemon juice and broth. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of whey to that to give that a little bit of acidity to it, but mostly the lemon juice. And then I'm going to split the broth. I'm going to do a little bit of lamb broth and then chicken broth, because the lamb broth will go really good with that flavor profile, but my kids aren't a huge fan of it, and so we're gonna split it, and then that way I can utilize both types of broth out of the pantry. Can't look where I didn't have.
Yeah. All right.
I need to look at my order because I should have gotten 4 suits in the mail, and I'm afraid I only ordered 3. Down. Anytime I cook or eat with these like Mediterranean flavors, I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't I do this more often? I love the way it smells. I love the way it tastes. So anyway, I have some cans of garbanzo beans that have sat in my pantry for forever. And so we're gonna use one of those up tonight to go with this. What are you doing? Daddy go get you? What are you crawling for? You're silly tonight. Are you feeling better? Hi. Are you feeling better? Say sorta. Kinda sorta. But anyways, I looked up a recipe. I don't have tahini. Tahini. So I'm gonna make this hummus without tahini. And see how it turns out. Oh. Does anybody see the problem with this? Anybody figure it out? I failed to put this in first. Alright, so the recipe I am using calls for lemon zest, so I don't have lemon zest. So I don't know how lemony this will be, but it'll be alright. It'll be alright. You can tell it's missing the zest, but we're gonna add a little more lemon juice instead of water first. It needs more salt. Some of our own sliced meat. This actually, I think, after tasting it, is a deer roast that I sliced up into lunch meat. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to season it a little more with like that Greek flavor. This would be absolutely delicious with like fresh cucumbers and fresh onion and stuff, but we don't have that. So we're going to get it spiced up, and we're going to go with more of an American winterized Greek dinner. What? They are going to be raw. I'm not cooking these. These are going to be raw carrot sticks to lighten up our very heavy winter version of a Greek meal.
Have one to eat.
You can have one to eat with dinner.
No, thanks.
Would you? Do you want to put the carrot scraps in the compost bucket for me?
Sure.
Okay, I know they're totally not going to be the same thing, but I did find 2 more tomatoes in the bottom of the freezer. So I am going to pull these out and slice them up. We can put them on with our meat as well. So again, we're throwing it together. It's what we have left. And where in the greenhouse, my poor lettuce got zapped in this last in that really cold spell we had. I don't have greens to put on this. So we're gonna make do with what we have. Thankfully, my kids aren't like, it has to be culinary exact. One of my kids, you put olives on it, he's gonna be happy. Let's go have to sit there for a sec. You hang out. Alright, so my pitas did not poof. So we're going to have more of like a flatbread sandwich. Because none of them really poofed. I'm kind of sad. I'm not sure if it's because I didn't cut them open the same day. That one did good. I'm not sure if it's because I didn't cut them open the same day I cooked them or what. This is a couple days after I cooked them. But they're still soft, and so we're going to use them. Alright, so dinner was a hit, and
Did you love me eat my food?
I did love you eating your food. You did so good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, go get ready for bed. Alright, this morning, as you can see, the kids have knocked out some massive Dutch baby action. We pulled out duck eggs out of the freezer for those. And they are always a hit in our house. I'm just letting you know the truth. Peeling carrots with you ain't easy. I'm just letting you know the truth. Lunch will get ready faster if you get done and play. I didn't time that right. Too many syllables for the number of beats I had. Say, but mommy, I don't care. Mommy, I don't care. I don't want it, Sarah. I want you. Wah, wah. I don't want it, Sarah. I want you. Oh, yeah. Oh, our little guy was not feeling good last night, and he's still not 100% today, so he's super whiny. But for lunch today, I'm not sure how hungry they'll be because I had the munchies while I was editing earlier, so we ate a bowl of popcorn already. But for lunch, we're gonna do some leftover chicken and dumplings from the other evening and some carrot sticks with a little bit of the leftover hummus from last night's dinner. So I will say that this pantry challenge has required me to eat leftovers more than what I normally do. I'm not a huge leftover fan. I'm like kind of like a eat it and don't eat it again or conform it so I don't have to eat the same thing again, but forcing us to eat leftovers. I'm not done, come on! I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Please tell me we're not the only weird family that just does weird things like that. Tim laughs at me all the time because I will randomly break out in song over absolutely nothing. And he's just like, I'm like, dude, this has to be normal for somebody else. Just random singing of life. It's gotta be normal somewhere, right? All right, so I'm getting ready to prep dinner tonight. And I noticed this week, as I was editing last week's video and putting together like the shorts and stuff, that I was doing a lot of meals that were like, that had flour or some sort of like carb in it that we're not growing here on the property. And so this week I really wanted to focus on trying. It's not going to be perfect, but I wanted to try for a couple of meals to really focus on all of the food coming from our property so that it can give me an idea of how to better prepare for next year's garden. I'm learning we need a whole lot more potatoes because we like a starch or a carb with our meal. And so we've already eaten most of our potatoes. I have a couple left, but I want to try somehow, if possible, to grow some more potatoes. But tonight we're going to do some sweet potatoes as our starch side component. So I'm down here in the basement to grab some of those. And our sweet potatoes were little. This is the first year I've ever grown a sweet potato. We did have a couple like pretty decent sized ones. I was pretty happy about those. But they were little, but we're going to use them and I'm going to mash them so the size isn't quite as big of an issue as if I was trying to do like a baked sweet potato. All right, I'm going to take these up and get them scrubbed up, peeled, and diced. All right, got those diced up and ready to boil. I'll pick that stuff out later. So I think one of the hardest things about this batch of sweet potatoes that I have is the peel time it takes, because like a standard store-bought sweet potatoes, this one I have, it's bigger. So when you peel one potato, you're getting a lot more edible portion for it. So it just takes me a long time to peel these guys where they're little and they're kind of funny shaped. So that's one reason why I've been neglecting the sweet potatoes on our menu, is just because it takes so long to peel them. But I am going to do better the rest of the month to use up the sweet potatoes. They look cured well, but I need to use what we've got that's fresh before it goes bad. So, all right, so I know we are focusing mostly on Pantry Challenge for these videos, but I am still dealing with critters and animals. So we have pigs headed to the processors tomorrow, and where we have to get them there first thing in the morning because of the inspector. We are gonna load them up tonight. And so I thought I'd show you a glimpse of that really fast because without taking pigs to the processors or doing them ourselves, obviously we would not be eating our fresh meat out of the freezer. So we're gonna go get ready. You can see the trailers ready to go. We're gonna go load up some hogs. All right,
Okay, we're in the business now.
Here we've got our lane set up, and these girls ate this morning, but they have not eaten this evening. So we got our feed, and we're hoping that they'll cooperate, which if you've watched any of our previous pig videos, they never cooperate. So this time will be the time. This is the time they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. So here we go. All right, ladies, y'all ready? You ready for a treat? Let's roll. All right, so far it's going all right. We've got them up next to the trailer. Now, hopefully they won't bolt through the fence because we've got them fully surrounded. It's hard to see because it's getting dark. There's a fence all the way around them. And so we're gonna feed them here on the ramp and get them up into the trailer soon.
Don't be banging over there, please.
They're very apprehensive, but they're doing great. So.
We don't get
All right. They went in so well. No panic. They just kind of took their time, ate some acorns, and then loaded up. So they're gonna, not that you can hear what I'm saying. We're gonna get them a little water, so they got water tonight. And then they're gonna burrow down in hay and be happy, happy ladies. Yeah. Yeah, they'll sleep at our house because the processor closed at 6. And
still not dark.
So.
Okay.
I don't know.
Go turn.
All right, let's pour this in real fast. We just gotta hurry, Lane. We gotta hurry so she doesn't jump out. Hurry. So the boys built a water catchment system, and they're gonna give the girls a drink off of their water catchment system.
You have to give more when you get home.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
All right, guys.
Thanks, DJ.
Great job.
Good job, Lane.
Fingers.
All right, for dinner tonight, we have a combination of lamb and venison tenderloin on a bed of sweet potatoes and green beans. And these tenderloins are kind of fun because they are off of DJ's first deer that he ever got. So dinner is brought to you by Mom and DJ tonight. All right, so it is February 14th. And this morning for breakfast, we are redeeming some failed muffins and taking our yogurt that I made yesterday and crumbling up the muffins that were kind of crumbly to begin with and using those as a topping for our yogurt since we are out of fresh fruit. So we're getting kind of creative. That way those muffins don't get wasted, but also the yogurt isn't just plain because they like the yogurt with stuff in it. So, all right, so it is lunchtime, and I pulled out a container of frozen taco soup of some variety. So we're gonna have this, and it's really brothy, and so I'm going to utilize. I have a teeny tiny bit of cornmeal left, and by a teeny tiny bit, I mean literally a half a cup. So this recipe on the back of this package I've never made, but it calls for 1 cup. So I'm gonna make a half a batch of this and throw that in the oven to go with our soup, just so that it has something more substantial. Because I don't foresee that a bowl of soup is gonna fill them up. And they're gonna want something else to go with that. So we're gonna go ahead and make some cornbread to go with this soup for our lunch today. It's been spitting snow all day, and I don't know if there's anything more cozy than a little fire and some soup on a cool, cloudy day. This particular cornbread recipe calls for buttermilk, but instead of buttermilk, I'm actually going to utilize some of that whey that we made with the ricotta, and use that instead. And we're gonna get this going. Okay, and then to go with our soup and cornbread, We're gonna use up some of this grape juice along with some of our elderberry stuff that I made the other day, just as another level to fill our bellies. All right, so it is afternoon. We finished schoolwork and I'm gonna get started on dinner. And since it is Valentine's Day, the kids and Tim got me flowers and a card, and then Lulu made me a card. Anyway, since it is Valentine's Day and the kids and I were talking today during lunch that we needed to have dessert since it was Lexi said, "Happy birthday, Mom." So they decided since it's Mom's Happy Valentine's that we needed dessert. So I did find a recipe for zucchini brownies. And so instead of butter or oil, I'm going to use like a vegetable oil. I'm going to use coconut oil because our butter is very quickly almost gone. So I'm trying really, really hard to not go to the store yet because we're almost halfway there. Tomorrow, technically, right now, we're almost halfway there today. Yeah, midnight tonight, we'll call it halfway. We're halfway there on our choice to do Pantry challenge, so in February. So I'm trying to avoid hitting the store just yet. We'll see. I may have to, just because I have a group thing tomorrow and I don't have anything appetizer-y, and that's what I'm supposed to bring. So we may have to hit the store tonight later to get some more cassava flour or something because I ran out of that. But I'm going to just use some gluten-free flour, all-purpose flour, and get these brownies whipped up. All right, for these brownies, we're going to be busting into my last unopened bulk bag. We have not been buying our food in bulk for very long. I would say we've only been buying it in bulk for about 6 months. And so our deep bulk supply is very little. So if this is like, if you're starting out and you're just starting to get to where you're starting to buy things in bulk, that's where we're at. We're not very far into this. And so this Pantry challenge has opened my eyes to a couple of things that I'll talk about at the end of it when we do like kind of like a review about some of the things that I want to make sure I keep in stock and stuff. But we're going to bust into this last, I think it's, 25-pound bag of sugar to get these brownies made. Okay, so we've got smothered chicken, creamy chicken with bacon. I found a bag of green beans that I had thrown in the freezer. So we're gonna do those up. Because don't you know, long beans are fancier than canned beans. And then some leftover sweet potatoes for our family Valentine's Day dinner. All right, so I don't know how these are going to turn out. They're kind of a weird texture and the icing is runny. I don't know if I'll use that recipe again, but we're going to try them and see.
No, it was just fine.
It might turn out like that, yeah. Spency, you want some, but my icing's really soft too. It didn't, I don't know.
It sounds to me like a Texas sheet cake, so I'm wanting to try it. I'll tell you if that's what it is.
It's not quite a Texas sheet cake, but I know what you're saying.
It's like between brownie and cake and density.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to sit, please. Thank you.
It's trying to be something of its own thing. I'm not sure what I did wrong.
Hey, Nathan.
Nathan. Was it good? Was it good?
I don't know if you got any chocolate.
Alright, good morning. Today is February 15th. And so we are officially at the halfway point for the pantry challenge for our home. Again, we just did the month of February. And even in that, we've had to be flexible because of being out of town a couple times. But this morning, nothing super creative. We still have some of these special coconut muffins that were oopsies. So we're gonna use those, and then the kids actually have enjoyed them. They're just really messy. So we are gonna top them off. Those of them that want them, we're gonna top them off with some of the yogurt that I have left. I only made a half a gallon, not a full gallon, and so there's not a ton left. But like I have one who's not a huge fan of these muffins, and so she's the only girl I've got. She asked, just yogurt, mommy. I don't like those muffins. So we're gonna let the boys bust through the muffins as much as they want to get those used up, and then she can just have some yogurt for breakfast. So that's what we're doing for breakfast this morning, and we'll see you at lunchtime. All right, so it's just a little bit before lunch on today. But I'm out in the garden doing a little bit of work, and from a perspective of knowing that I'm growing food for next year's pantry challenge, it's super fun. I've got garlic starting to pop through, but I went through and covered that row because a lot of the little garlics were popping through, and we're supposed to get more cold weather this week, so just to protect them a little bit. But it's so fun this year to be thinking through like the garden layout and the compost schedule and all these things that I'm going to need in order for next year to be successful. And so growing in that skill of like thinking forward is something that's really been awesome during this pantry challenge for me. That way I can plan a little bit better and maybe not fly off the seat of my pants quite as much. So I'm going to finish this up and then head inside to prep for lunch. All right, so I'm back inside prepping lunch, and with it being such a spring feeling day, I saw a post the other day. It was talking about how in West Virginia we get fake spring 1, winter, fake spring 2, winter, then finally real spring hits, but then winter comes back. So we're in like fake spring, however many we're on this year. But with that, I am going to pull out some more turkey salad. Why fix it when it's not broke? But we're gonna I have one more apple and a couple things I can throw in there. I'm gonna pull out the pickles and olives and just make it feel like a fake spring day. So nothing super fancy for lunch over here. I am gonna pull out the craisins and raisins and let them have those if they choose. And I'm just gonna let them. They had piano lessons today, so we're gonna just let them play until dinner. All right, lunch is over, and we finished our last jar of pickle spears from last year. We do have a container that still has some sliced pickles in it. So we do have pickles if I make some sort of sandwich that needs a pickle or something. But we are out of snacking sliced spears. So those were a huge hit, and they actually stayed really crunchy in the fridge like that, just in that brine, that vinegar-based brine. Those aren't fermented, they're just regular vinegar pickles, but they stayed crunchy really, really well. And so I think I am going to probably do a couple of those 1 gallon pickle jars, because that's a fridge that I keep them in is one that we run on a generator if we lose power. So that would always stay cold. So that'd be a good use of some extra cucumbers come summer. All right, so actually I'm pretty excited. Not even thinking. We finished up those pickles today, and tonight is nugget night, and I marinate a lot of times my nuggets in the leftover pickle juice. So we got to utilize this pickle juice one last time before it is finished. And then here after a while, I will run those nuggets through my arrowroot powder. This is what I use instead of cornstarch. My egg, and then my cassava flour. And then I will salt, pepper, and garlic, probably onion powder, all of that. And then serve it with ketchup, mustard, honey mustard, whatever somebody would want. So that's what we're gonna have for dinner. Tim and I have an engagement tonight, so the kids are actually gonna be going to mom and dad's. So they're gonna take nuggets with them, and then mom, so the kids can have a break from rice. Our mom's gonna actually make them some macaroni and cheese with her pasta, but our cheese. So still pulling from our pantry and our fridges for their part of the meal. And then our contribution to the engagement that we're going to tonight is these nuggets. So pork and chicken nuggets. So that is what is for dinner. I probably will not remember to film, so I will see you in the morning for tomorrow's breakfast. All right, good morning. Today is February 15th. And so I actually have a feed run this morning that I'm gonna have to take off and do. So as soon as I get chores done, I'm gonna head out that way. So we've simplified the meals for today. This morning, Tim is going to make up some eggs and some sausage. For lunch, we're gonna do leftover chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese. Yeah, are you having fun? Don't slam your fingers. Close them. Don't slam your fingers. Okay, let's be done. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Let's be done. Leave them. No, leave them closed. Okay. Don't want to slam your finger. Okay, and then for dinner, I pulled out a couple ham roasts, and I pulled out more than what I know we're gonna need for dinner. Planning ahead till Sunday. So I'm gonna cook all those ham roasts up. We're gonna have ham roasts tonight for dinner, and then on Sunday, I'll use the leftovers for then. Good morning. So it is February 17th, and winter is back. Welcome back, winter. So on this wintry cold, I have a couple folks in our home that aren't feeling super hot morning. We are gonna do, I still have some leftover nuggets. Nuggets for me are kind of like sweet potatoes. If I'm gonna make them, I'm gonna make a ton of them. I'm gonna do nugget and waffles. So kind of like a spin off of chicken and waffles, only it's gonna be a combination of pork nuggets and chicken nuggets on top of waffles. I am going to be making 2 different batches because I have 1 bag of cassava flour left. So instead of making all of our waffles gluten-free this morning, I am going to make mine gluten-free. I'm going to make the kids just a regular waffle recipe that I have. So that is what we're going to have for breakfast this morning. So I'm going to get started on that. All right, so this recipe calls for some milk, and I'm actually going to cut that recipe with a little bit of the leftover whey from the cheese that we made last weekend. And so we're going to utilize that up. It'll give it a little bit more of like a buttermilk waffle pancake or buttermilk waffle feeling, but I think it'll still work out nicely. All right, so we have egg of choice. Some of them got dippy and some got scrambled. And then waffles with syrup and nuggets. And this actually works out really well because where the nuggets are reheated, they're a little dry. And so this syrup helps. And then some of the kids that got dippy eggs are actually dipping their nuggets in the yolk too. So it works out really, really good. Good way to utilize leftovers.
Do you hear it?
Mm-hmm. Is it good?
Yeah.
Is that your first hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Is it good?
He just sipping one. He just taking a sip out of his mouth, so I can't throw up.
The slamming the glass down is what's getting me.
I know, right?
Smack.
Need some hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate, good.
Hot chocolate, good.
Okay, and so for dinner this evening, we are having leftover pork roast, some carrots, and cheesy grits. So that is how we are going to wind out this Saturday evening's food pantry challenge. All right, so it is February 18th, and it is actually the afternoon. I totally forgot to film what we had for breakfast, which was just a random batch of muffins that I threw together. Just like kind of like a coffee cake muffin. And they are all gone. They were all found. So for lunch today, I am going to reheat some more of this pulled pork that I made and reheat some grits. We're gonna put the pulled pork on some really, really sad slider buns that I threw together. An attempt to make some sourdough slider buns. They did not turn out. And then we're gonna top it with barbecue sauce, mustard. They can have some olives if they want, pickles. I have some kimchi that needs to be used up. And then some cheese. And then tonight for dinner, we actually have something out that we're gonna be at our church again this week. And so we won't be doing dinner here. We'll be doing whatever they provide there. So that is the fast forward version of our Sunday pantry challenge here on the homestead. Hope you guys are having a great week and that your pantry challenge is going well. And we'll see you next week's full length video as we cover what we scrounge up towards the end of this pantry challenge for us. Hope you guys have an awesome day and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.